Well, it's over for Bobby. Bowblax's career is officially over, and it's sad to see. This is the guy who just reads tweets, remember? How could a guy who just reads tweets end his own career by talking? Because if he's talking, he's just reading tweets, right? Well, that's not really the case, because old Bowblax kind of stuck his old foot in his mouth over the last couple days. Well, even over the last couple months, it's been pretty rough for the guy Bowblax. So I'm gonna turn on my camera right now. I have a slop channel, which you're on right now, has 34 subscribers. That's so sick. My last video about Doc got over 1.4 thousand views. I don't understand how that's happening. I'm not advertising this channel whatsoever. It's just designed for me to turn the camera on in the morning and go through the motions to kind of like warm up a little bit. These are warm-up slop videos where I talk about something that I don't really care about that much, where I don't really show any screenshots or any footage or any receipts or anything like this. This is the sloppiest slop channel that could ever exist, that just exists for me to do my thing in the morning, and then I'll put it up on the internet for whatever to happen, okay? Be what it be, say what it say. We're talking about the commentary community today. Now, I don't really want to like focus this video on the commentary community like cannibalizing itself when there's no stories, but that's kind of how it started off in my brain, because it's like, okay, Mr. B's story is over, Dr. Disrespect story is over, waiting for the next story. Who's gonna be the next drama? Oh, the commentary community is just gonna find one within. So they dug up a clip that's like 4 years old, 5 years old, of Bowblax being made to cry by Nicholas DiOrio while playing Mario or something, okay? Now this whole incident was based around Bowblax copyright striking a bunch of people when he really shouldn't have, okay? Now when you're a creator, I don't know if you're a creator who's watching this video, but on the back end, you get shown people that are using your content, and you get to choose if you're gonna take action, if you're gonna let it happen, or whatever's gonna be is gonna be in your hands. You're the god of your content. And anyway, Bowblax went through and he flagged some of those videos and had them taken down. There were some criticism videos of him. There was that BLM thing that was being reshared again. And he was kind of in damage control mode. And he ended up doing what most people in the YouTube commentary space consider to be kind of unethical. And that is to copyright strike and take down fellow creators' videos, especially when it's transformative and fair use and all that kind of stuff. And me saying all that at the beginning of the story, fair use, transformative, that becomes very ironic by the time we get to the end of this story. So strap in, here we go, we're about to talk about this. So Bowblax's clip of 4 years ago where Nicholas DiOrio is confronting him about this copyright strike thing. Now all of these names might be new names to you. I'm not going to go into the deep lore of the commentary community, but I will give you like the essentials. Nicholas DiOrio is kind of, how do I describe Nicholas DiOrio in the commentary community? He's the kingpin. He's the guy that has like the opinions that everybody flocks to. He's the guy whose takes kind of disseminate downward, you know? If Nicholas DiOrio doesn't want you in the commentary community, you're not in the commentary community, and it's pretty much as easy as that. But that really is only for like a certain section of the commentary community. If you don't really click in with them, there are other kinds of places you can go to kind of try to find friends in the commentary world, but I don't know if I would necessarily suggest that. I don't know if making friends with these commentary guys is the best decision out there, okay? But I digress. Bowblax is actually the most subscribed to channel on that side of the commentary YouTube because of his Twitter versus series, where if people get into a spat on Twitter, he'll go through and find all the tweets, compile them all together, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, you get the whole story without even having to log into Twitter one time. So that kind of content has tremendous value outside of the commentary community, okay? That is why Bowblax has kind of transcended it a little bit. Now, if he knew that fact, if he knew in his brain that he was bigger than the scene, then I don't think that he would be wrapped up in all this sort of stuff. But because he doesn't really have a firm grasp of reality, he kind of gets molded and manipulated, and then he tries to mold and manipulate in return. Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So during this Mario call where Nick is confronting Bowblax, the kingpin is confronting the most popular guy on this side of the internet, and he's like, yo, that was fucked up, da 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 da, you can't do that, here's why. Bowblax ends up crying during this confrontation. Is like, I don't know why you had to bring that up during a Mario stream. Let me speak! And during this whole meltdown, Bowblax is clearly unstable, does not know how to handle this kind of criticism, but the chat is on his side and are like, hey, Nicholas, why are you bullying this guy right now? And that's kind of where that left for a little bit. I have no idea why this 4 or 5-year-old clip or whatever is being trudged up again, but it is, and this is the clip that all of this drama is stemming from because of the commentary community's commentary on this thing retrospectively is destroying itself, and it's very entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glued to the Chud Logic streams. I'm glued to the Lorix streams, okay? I want to see how this is all going down. And I'm not a new jack, okay? I have many years of age on these guys, but I've also been following this scene since about 2019-ish, since like the Suzy Lou era, since the John Swan era, since the like Onision stuff that was all going down. And you know that I'm a guy that really misses after hours with Augie RFC. Now, I don't even know if I gotta talk about Augie in this story, but I pretty much have to. How can you talk about this whole commentary situation without Augie? But the reason why I'm contemplating this is because Augie kind of separated himself from this. Now, if I were to describe Augie, who Augie was back in the day 4 or 5 years ago when this Mario clip was going around, Augie was kind of like the late night show for the commentary community. Everybody would tune into his late night show. He's said to be like the Johnny Carson of commentary or whatever. He was a bit of an edgelord. He said many things that would never come out of my mouth, which is what made it very entertaining. He was just like a skinny fucking kid actually recording this in a closet, a shoot closet, and it was the most entertaining thing on YouTube for the longest time, and I'm not gonna lie to you. After Hours would end up getting so much traction, and all the big names in YouTube would end up making appearances on it. The Mudahars, the Keemstars. Any story that was being hotly debated was debated on After Hours, and it was so fucking entertaining. And the dude was like 19, 20 years old at the time, and he had the best YouTube channel going. And Bowblax, even though he was the most popular guy on this side of the internet, he was the sidekick to Augie on After Hours. Augie was like 5'4", 110 pounds, but he was the alpha male in that situation. And if you're brand new to this story, you don't know who Augie is, well, I can't blame you for that. He kind of disappeared from the internet maybe like a year ago or whatever, but the drama that we're talking about right now is the drama that kind of made him come back a little bit. We got a little taste of Augie last night, but we're not there in this story yet. We're still 4 or 5 years ago during this Mario stream with Bowblax crying and Augie RFC having like the best show on the internet. Shortly after this, it could have been even like a year, 2 years, maybe even 3. Man, holy shit. There's a big gap between Nicholas Diorio making Bowblax cry on the Mario stream to the next thing on this list, which is Throbbing Horse Cock. Now, Throbbing Horsecock was Bowblax's second alt account on Twitter. Now, if there's another thing you need to know about Bowblax is he has account after account after account. This guy has like 4 or 5 different YouTube channels, 4 or 5 different fucking Twitter accounts or whatever. He's just spreading it all out all over the place, and I can kind of understand that. I have 3 different channels that all serve a different purpose or whatever, but it's Bowblax's main channel that is the biggest one on that side of the internet. All of his other ones nobody even really knows about. They're very, very obscure, but on stream one time, Bowblax pulled up his account list on Twitter and Throbbing Horsecock, mine's bigger, was listed right there. So then everybody started to call him out about it in chat, and he was like, no, what do you mean? What, you're calling me Throbbing Horsecock? What even is that? And try to kind of like play it off like it didn't even matter or whatever. But it was clear that he didn't want this to be out there. Anyway, Augie RFC ends up like calling this out, and then Bowblax is like, hey, it was a bit, we planned it all from the beginning or whatever. I don't know if that's true. You're kind of manipulating a narrative as we go through. And the only reason why I'm talking about Throbbing Horsecock right now is because it shows Bowblax's way of like weaseling and manipulating situations to kind of like fool an audience into like coming onto his side of a story. Because there's no way that he actually wanted the Throbbing Horsecock thing to be out there, because all of the tweets that were coming from that account were pretty insane, and you wouldn't really want them tied back to you as a person. So I understand having like an alt account and wanting to like tweet at ridiculous stuff, but you're doing that because you don't want it tied back to you. And all this throbbing horsecock stuff is like coming from years even before the crying stream. So all of these like lore elements are merging together, and it's all being dug up again this week. All of this 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old drama is just like, okay, now this is the stuff we care about today. Holy fuck, I didn't even mention the King of Nothing stuff yet. Oh my god, how did fucking Bowblax get himself into this goddamn situation? Anyway, Bowblax tries to play both sides of the fence and be friends with every kind of person. Bit of a smaggle-daggle out there. More of like a more popular smaggle-daggle. Now, if you're not familiar with smaggle-daggle, he's all over this kind of scene. Not really a creator, not really, I don't know, I can't really describe to you what smaggle-daggle does, but he's just everywhere. Holy fuck, man. So anyway, while the whole commentary community is now discussing this 5-year-old clip where Bowblax is crying, it's important to know that in current era, Bowblax has been taking like a 2-month hiatus for like a mental health break. So while he's on a mental health break, this other mental health breakdown is being brought up. It is like a crazy soup of all this shit happening at once, and it's all landing on Bowblax's lap on the same day. So Bowblax is invited to call into Chud's stream, where he does, and he's like, yo, I've been taking a break. It's because of a childhood trauma or whatever. You go take care of yourself. All right, you do that. That's fine. We believe you. Go do that stuff. But it's during that Chud stream where Queeman is brought in, and he is pressing Bowblax. He is like that King of Nothing guy. Because you're talking to him and talking to Nick and saying Nick stuff to King of Nothing and saying King of Nothing stuff to Nick, that means you're a snake, Bowblax. Admit that you're a snake. And he's like, I'm not a snake. Nick, is that kind of snaky? Nick, tell me, is that snaky? And Nick's like, oh man, yeah. Dude, Bowblax, you're kind of a snake. And that's actually kind of a big deal when Nick says that kind of thing, because a common belief in the community is that Bowblax only made it this far because his like smarter, bigger, stronger friends always came to his defense. He had Nicholas Diorio, the Kingpin. He had Augie RFC, the Johnny Carson, both swinging for him, both going to bat for Bowblax. And now I think both of those guys have kind of seen enough, have kind of had enough of this kind of ridiculous behavior. A, because it's annoying to deal with, and B, optics. Obviously, this guy's crazy. What's he doing? And now the narrative is starting to switch on Bowblax. Now the audience is starting to kind of see all of these little behavior tics that Bowblax has. There's not really that much charitability happening anymore towards that guy. On a later Chud stream, Nicholas Diorio would call in and Chud would ask him, hey, are you going to defend Bowblax this time? And then the famous quote that I'm going to remember is kind of like the nucleus of all this sort of thing, Nick drops. He says that he's going to give him a chance to be a warrior. There's so much information in just that line. Give him a chance to be a warrior. That basically means I'm done fighting for this guy. This guy's gonna fight his own battles now. It's his move. And oh my God, his move was the worst move that you could have done in this situation. Now, when you're being accused of being manipulative, when you're being accused of being a snake, what's one thing you probably shouldn't do? Secretly and snakily record a call with somebody who thinks it's private, but you're recording it and then you leak it out to the internet? Yeah, that's what you do if you're the snakiest scumbag in the world. And that is exactly what Bowblax did. Enter Lorix into this fucking equation. What's the long and short of Lorix? He's kind of young to this. He's kind of new to this. A couple years ago, came into this. Then he stopped doing it for a little bit. Now he's back. And Lorix is on that commentary grind like nothing else. He is doing the streams. He's putting out the videos. He's got the slop channel. He's doing it. And Lorix's criticism of this 5-year-old clip was that Bowblax was kind of being a little bit manipulative, and Bowblax wanted nothing to do with that criticism, so he recorded a call with Lorix. This was supposed to be a private call between these two, and Lorix was so nice during this thing. He basically outlined the behaviors that he saw in Bowblax, what those behaviors communicated to the audience, what he could do to fix them, and give him some like advice on the way. And Bowblax just wasn't hearing it. At first he'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but here's the reason, here's an excuse, here's a reason. And we've all talked to people like that. It's so fucking frustrating, right? When you want accountability from somebody, when you want them to just like own up to something, they say, yeah, you're right, but this and then that and then this. It's like, no, just accept it. Don't make me then come back onto your side and then be like, oh yeah, you're right, let's take back that sorry really quick. So recording a call secretly with somebody is one thing, and then leaking it on Twitter is another thing. And these are all things that were deliberately done by Bowblax all along the way, when all of his friends were telling him, do not do this kind of stuff. This is the bad move. He had all the time in the world to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, I'm not going to be such a freak right now, and then just kept being a freak. Larix would catch wind of this leaked call and react to the whole thing in full on his stream. All the while, Bowblax was cooking up and advertising a Larix bully stream. These bully streams are things that Bowblax does to be mean to people, which is funny. Mostly they're about Tipster, but he was planning to do a Larix one. But then he realized all the community didn't really want to bully Larix over anything, so the thing that he did, the Bowblax move, was the craziest move of all time. He basically took a bunch of stream clips in full, like 12, 15-minute clips from Larix's stream and just played them. Remember that fair use transformative thing we were talking about at the beginning of this video? Well, he was no longer abiding to any of that stuff. He was just playing full stream clips with no commentary, with no nothing. He wasn't coming in being like, okay, so in this clip, Larix does this and it means this. None of that. Just huge chunk, and then he would come in for like 2 or 3 minutes, and this would go on for over 2 hours. He baited the entire community to come into his live stream because, oh, he has something special. He has something big. It's going to be a big bully stream that's going to validate everything. It's going to vindicate his entire character for everything. But it's just a 2-hour VOD of Larix streams that people have already watched. It was the biggest fucking waste of time that I could even imagine. The wettest fart of a conclusion happened, and Bowblax is just like, I don't know, dude. I can only imagine in like a ball of tears in his bathtub right now. Every year it seems like some weirdo from this community does something weird and has to get chopped out of it. John Swan, Edwin, Salvo, see you later. This is a very sloppy drama, and at the end of the day, I don't actually think it means anything, okay? If you go up to a layman and explain like the Dr. Disrespect stuff or explain like the Mr. Beast stuff, they'll get it and they'll be like, oh hey, that's some bad stuff. But if you go up to somebody and explain this drama, they're like, this is petty stuff. Why does anyone fucking care about this? This is nothing. Who the fuck are you making a video about this fucking shit that literally nobody gives a shit about? And that's just what makes it so perfect for slop fodder on this channel that has 34 subscribers. If you made it to the end of the video, first, I don't know how you made it here to begin with, but that's so sick. Subscribe, why not? Let's try to grow this while we're here. Who fucking cares? Okay, bye.